You got a glimpse of them and what they can do last week. I'd like to formally introduce my personal enforcer. Like my loyal avenging angels, they've united together to impose their will on WWE, and their will is my will.
This is scary.
There's no ego here. This isn't about championship opportunity. These men know I can make champions or break them. And that's something that the World Heavyweight Champion is going to learn the hard way.
I wouldn't bet against it. That's a hell of a posse he's got there.
No chance.
It's a damn
That's what
mob.
you got.
This has gone too far.
We are just over 1 month away from the biggest sports entertainment event of the year, WrestleMania. This is Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler at ringside, and though he's not medically cleared to compete, the champion is here.
What is he thinking? After what happened last week, this is the last place he should be.
He's a fighting champion, King. He's not one to run from a challenge.
There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, JR, and he may have just crossed it.
No disrespect intended, but I don't think he stands much of a chance in this match.
He's nothing but a scapegoat for the man they really want to get their hands on, and this is not going to be pretty.
I can't say that I'm surprised to see the #1 contender coming out here with backup.
Not that he needs it, but he's got the biggest match of his career in 1 month, and he can't afford an injury.
It's all about the game.
Look at this. The champion isn't medically cleared to compete, but he's here anyway.
I admire the guy's heart, but I'm not sure it's pumping enough blood to his brain. He's risking a career-ending injury here. Boy, this John Cena is his own biggest fan. How come all of these rappers can't talk about anything except how great they are?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, King. Cena's got some impressive accomplishments to his credit. I think he's got every right to be proud.
Well, you know what they say, JR. Pride goes before a fall. And from the looks of things, John Cena's got a heck of a fall ahead of him. Oh! There's the reversal.
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell. This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it.
This match is going to continue until someone's completely debilitated. And considering the resiliency of these superstars, that's not going to be easy.
That's for sure. No one in this match is going down without a fight.
And I wouldn't expect any less from them, King. Like them or not, you've got to respect the tenacity of each and every WWE superstar.
He countered that one perfectly. So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
Well, you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's going to go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, that makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that. Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring.
There aren't many superstars as diversely talented as John Cena. He's as good in the ring as he is on the microphone, and that's saying something.
I won't argue with you about Cena's mic skills. He sure can't talk a good game. But when it comes right down to it, I don't think he can back it up.
King, you're as crazy as a pet coon. Did you happen to notice how many times Cena's worn gold around his waist? Seems to me like he's got no problem putting his money where his mouth is.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're...
Oh, no! I don't like the looks of this.
He's got the fans behind him, King, and his opponent had better watch out. This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar taken out of here on a stretcher. I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea how these superstars can maintain this intensity week after week after week.
It's not easy, JR. There's no off-season. It's not like you've got 6 months to recover after WrestleMania.
That's for damn sure. And that's why I don't think there can be any doubt in anyone's mind that the superstars of the WWE are the greatest athletes in the world.
I talked to these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's coming through loud and clear here tonight in this match. They're not taking it easy on each other either.
It's been said a million times, but I'll say it again. This isn't ballet. Ruthless aggression is the name of the game.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted. Can his opponent kick out of this pinning predicament?
Man, is there even going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done?
Not if they have their way, King. Everything they came in here with tonight is going to be left in that ring, mark my words.
I hope these fans appreciate it, JR. These superstars are putting it all on the line for them right here tonight.
You talk about the future of WWE, and you're looking at it in John Cena.
Oh, come on, JR. John Cena's a thug. You know it. I know it. And all of these people know it. It makes me sick that he's allowed to be a WWE superstar.
I don't know how you can say that, King. Cena has dedicated himself.
Oh, here we go. What a jerk. How about continuing the match?
I don't think he's in any hurry to end this one, King. And I don't think the crowd wants it to end either. He countered that and made it look easy. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can't, JR. And I don't think we'd have it any other way. I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so... I don't think he's climbing up there for the view.
Can you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except for I sit here and listen to you drool over the divas. These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse.
5, 6.
What an incredible... Oh, boy. These top rope moves can go either way.
7.
Listen to the crowd, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
4.
I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far from the end of the match.
I disagree entirely, King. I'd bet my Oklahoma Sooner ass that this one isn't even close to being over.
That's a pretty big bet, JR. Are you sure you're able to cover it?
1.
I think you...
And there's a little something for the crowd. The best superstars never ignore their fans.
The best superstars also finish off their opponents instead of giving them time to recover.
1.
You've got to ask yourself, he's got something nasty planned. His opponent's down, and now he's sharing a piece of his mind.
He's going to have to eat those words by the end of this match, JR. I'm not sure I agree with what the crowd is chanting, JR, but I guess it's their right.
You're damn right it is. It comes with the price of admission.
6.
These fans love confidence in their superstars, and that's just what they're seeing from him here tonight.
Well, he can do this until the cows come home, but that's not going to win him the match.
9. 10.
I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, JR. I can't believe I actually get...
They are absolutely livid at the champion's interference.
They thought this was just going to be a 2-on-1 mugging, but it was a lot more competitive than that.
And as furious as they are, I can only imagine the McMahons are even angrier.
And that's a scary thought right there.
I hate to even think about what the McMahons have in store for the champion now.
Well, realistically, how much worse can things get for him?